Time now for our special coverage of the 9th Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, which is underway in the state's capital, that's Gandhinagar. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the summit, and the event is being attended by political and business leaders from across the world. Jude Sannith and Yash Jain filed this special report. Take a look.
Vibrant Gujarat 2019 got off to a promising start with some of the big names from India Inc. promising big investments in the state of Gujarat. But which are the sectors the Gujarat government is looking to tap into? I caught up with the state's finance minister as well as the deputy chief minister to find out.
गुजरात में तो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री है, एग्रीकल्चर इंडस्ट्री है, डायमंड इंडस्ट्री है, या ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री है, केमिकल इंडस्ट्री है, फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री है, इंजीनियरिंग इंडस्ट्री है। सभी प्रकार की इंडस्ट्री के लिए बहुत अच्छा वातावरण है। सभी को गिफ्ट सिटी में भी बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की इच्छा है, वहाँ काम करने की इच्छा है।
This infrastructure and these policies have brought a lot of investors, not only from India, from outside India also. Okay. And if you look at, say, ports, today 35% of the country's cargo passes through the ports of Gujarat.
Top aerospace and defense companies like Airbus, Lockheed Martin and Bharat Forge were also in attendance at Vibrant Gujarat 2019. Now, I caught up with some of the top bosses from these companies to talk production, procurement and concerns plaguing these sectors.
Last year was a record year for Airbus. We had done 800 deliveries last year, which was never done previously. So it was a very strong year. I think people worked very hard to achieve it. And just in India, if you go up, we have published our numbers of delivery last year. Last year we had done deliveries of 66 aircraft to India, which is more than one a week. So I think the delivery story at the end of the year, we worked hard.
We are now beginning to see a fairly good amount of coherence between policy, between the Ministry of Defense, between the services and the industry, all moving in the same direction.
The version of the F-16 being offered to India is the F-16 Block 70. It's the latest and greatest F-16 that's out there. And so this is a completely new animal in terms of an airplane capability. In addition, a very important part of our Make in India proposition is we'll put the exclusive production line in India. And since we have over 3,000 flying jets, F-16s around the world, that's the world's largest fighter ecosystem, and that puts India at the center of that ecosystem.
Gift City in Gujarat has been the state's golden goose when it comes to investments, and both major exchanges, the BSE as well as the NSE, operate from their premises. They spoke exclusively to CNBC TV 18 to tell us about their growth prospects from here.
2 years back, one day before Vibrant Gujarat, Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated the India International Exchange. And I'm happy to report that in 2 years since we began, it's doing almost $1 billion of a day turnover. Gift City is clearly a much larger issue, basically in terms of its mandate. It has to become a price setter for the rest of the world in terms of many commodities it trades in. And so it has a much larger mandate. The approvals are easier to come by, and there are ways to experiment with because it's larger investors, international frameworks, and you need to compare yourself with the international market. So the regulators are more comfortable allowing some sort of experimentations in Gift City.
Volumes have built up. Now, if you look at the volumes on NSE and BSE's gift exchanges, at least as it relates to equities, we've built it up to about $700–800 million on average daily volume, which is quite significant. So I think we're trying to build liquidity. I think it will be important for us to see how we're able to transition the liquidity from SGX.
Global and Indian CEOs and top bankers formed the rest of the attendee list here at Vibrant Gujarat 2019, and each of these gentlemen spoke to us at length about their growth forecast for the Indian economy. Here's a slice of those conversations.
If you're talking about Vibrant Gujarat, the programs over here, the MOUs that are being signed and its impact on economic growth, obviously it's there. But if you ask me broadly what the trends are with respect to credit growth, I think the rate has been around 14–15%, and I think it's holding.
You're seeing more and more of the global venture capitalists start to come back to India, and as you know, they left. Many of us got excited about India 10, 15 years ago in startups, and it just never developed. Now you're starting to see a very good pipeline of startups. You saw the venture capital funding where it was up 100% year over year.
With that, it's a wrap of day one at Vibrant Gujarat 2019, but there's more in days to come.